Some stories don't begin with betrayal. They begin with silence. A silence so quiet that no one notices it growing until it starts screaming inside you. This is not a story about a bad woman, and it's not a story about a perfect marriage. This is a story about loneliness that slowly learns how to breathe inside another person. A woman, a marriage that looks fine from the outside, and a man who asked one simple question: "Are you really okay?" That question changed everything, not because it was romantic, but because no one had asked it before. In this story, there is no clear villain, no easy judgment, only choices and consequences. As you listen, you may find yourself uncomfortable, not because the story is shocking, but because it feels familiar. So listen carefully and listen honestly, because by the end of this story, you won't be asking what she did wrong. You'll be asking, how many people are silently disappearing inside their own lives right now? If you appreciate deep, realistic stories like this, please like the video, comment what you feel as you listen, and subscribe for more stories that don't entertain you, they stay with you. Now, let the story begin. Some homes are not loud, but they are not peaceful either. They are filled with silence, a silence that slowly eats away everything that once felt alive. Megla stood by the window, watching the rain fall endlessly. Outside, the world moved. Inside, her life stood still. 8 years of marriage, same roof, same bed, same routine, but not the same heart. Her husband was not a bad man. That was the hardest part. He provided, he existed, but he was never truly present. Their conversations were practical: bills, schedules, responsibilities. Never emotions, never feelings, never her. At night, when the lights went out, 2 bodies lay side by side, separated by an invisible wall, a wall made of neglect. And neglect does not arrive suddenly. It grows slowly, day by day, until one day you realize you have disappeared inside your own life. Megla had learned to stay quiet, to swallow her words, to convince herself that this was normal. But silence has a limit, and when it breaks everything. Rehan arrived as a friend, but he brought with him questions Megla had avoided asking herself. His presence felt unfamiliar, not because he was new, but because she had forgotten what attention felt like. Rehan smiled, a simple smile, but it carried something rare: interest. He looked around the house, then looked at Megla, and asked quietly, "Are you really okay?" The question was simple. The impact was not. Megla nodded. She said yes. Her eyes disagreed. Rehan didn't push, didn't advise, didn't interrupt. He stayed. And that was the most dangerous thing. Because for the first time in years, Megla didn't feel alone while sitting next to someone. Rehan spoke little, but when he did, his words carried weight. He asked questions no one had asked her before. What do you want? When was the last time you chose yourself? Do you ever feel lost? These questions had no place in her marriage, but they settled deep inside her. Days passed. Rehan returned, sometimes with reasons, sometimes without. Megla noticed something frightening. She started waiting. waiting for the door to open, waiting for his voice, waiting for that feeling of being seen. She told herself it was harmless. He was just a friend, but the heart does not listen to logic. One evening, while she made tea, Rayhan said softly, "You don't smile much." Megla froze. No one had noticed that in years. That night, lying in bed, she thought of Rayhan. Not desire, not plans, just the comfort of being understood. And comfort can be addictive. No one wakes up one day and decides to be wrong. Mistakes are built from small permissions, lonely conversations, late replies, shared silence. An evening came without intention, a quiet room, dim light, unfinished words. They sat close, too close. Rayhan's hand brushed hers, accidentally, but neither moved away. Megla knew the meaning had already changed. Nothing was said, nothing needed to be. Some emotions do not require language. That night, something shifted, not just bodies, but boundaries. And once a boundary breaks, it never truly returns. Guilt arrived immediately. So did warmth. And that confusion was unbearable, because the wrong thing felt real, and the right life felt empty. Megla understood something terrifying. She was no longer choosing between people. She was choosing between silence and feeling alive. Guilt does not shout. It whispers. It sits quietly beside every smile, inside every moment of comfort. Megla began to live two lives. One life followed routine, meals, responsibilities, familiar silence. The other life lived inside her chest, unspoken, hidden, breathing. Rayhan never demanded anything, and somehow that made everything harder. When he messaged, her heart responded before her mind. When he stayed silent, the silence hurt. She hated herself for how alive she felt. At night, beside her husband, she stared at the ceiling and wondered, how can someone be present and absent at the same time? She tried to pull away. She told herself it had to stop. But desire does not disappear because it is wrong. It grows stronger when it is forbidden. Rayhan noticed the change, the hesitation, the fear. One evening he said quietly, "This is not right." She agreed, and yet neither of them walked away, because sometimes walking away hurts more than staying. Megla understood something painful. She was not chasing Rayhan, she was running away from emptiness, and emptiness does not let go easily. Truth rarely arrives with evidence. It arrives with intuition. Her husband felt it first. The distance in her eyes, the delayed responses, the silence after questions. He asked gently, "What's wrong?" Megla wanted to scream the truth. Instead, she smiled. Half-truths are easier than full confessions, but eyes reveal what words hide. Rayhan knew it had reached a breaking point. He stepped back, not because he stopped feeling, but because he started understanding. One final conversation. No accusations, no drama, just exhaustion. Rayhan said, "I don't want to be the reason someone loses their home." That sentence stayed with Megla long after he left. She didn't beg him to stay, because deep down she knew some relationships end not because love dies, but because conscience wakes up. When Rehan walked away, the silence returned, but this time it was louder. Megla stood in front of the mirror. For the first time in a long while, she didn't look away. She saw herself clearly, not as a wife, not as a sinner, not as a victim, just a woman who had been lonely for too long. She finally understood. Affairs are not born from desire, they are born from neglect, from unanswered questions, from unseen pain. She could not erase what happened, but she could choose what happened next. Silence had taught her one lesson: never disappear to keep peace. Some endings are not punishments, they are awakenings. The rain fell outside again, but this time it felt lighter because she had decided to speak, to exist, to choose herself without hiding. Pause. 3 seconds. This story does not ask for judgment, it asks for honesty. If this story made you uncomfortable, it means it was real. If it made you think, it means you understood. If you believe more stories like this should be told, stories about silence, choices, and consequences, please like this video, comment what you felt, your words matter, and subscribe for more deep human stories that don't shout, but stay with you. Because not all stories are fiction. Some stories we live.